Many countries have shown renewed interest in national development strategies in response to the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development Goals. Due to the COVID-19 crisis, global financial markets have witnessed heavy losses and intense volatility. Particularly worrisome is the prospect of a new debt crisis, since integrated national financing frameworks are a tool to finance national priorities and operationalize the SDGs agenda at the national level. Nigeria has not relented in our efforts to ensure that the country's sustainable development strategy lays out what needs to be financed. While the COVID-19 pandemic persists, some critics have cast doubts as to whether or not the delivery of the Sustainable Development Goals would be adequately achieved. Joining us now from Abuja to discuss all of this is Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire, Senior Special Advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari on Sustainable Development Goals and a former Deputy Governor of Lagos State. Welcome to the program, Madam. Good to have you on the morning show.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Well, quickly, recently you gave a speech on circular economy, and we had an expert also on this program not too long ago who talked about circular economy as a way of ensuring economic growth and sustainable development. Now, can you say a little more about this and how you are proposing this within the corridors of government as an option post-COVID-19?
Well, let me thank you, the organizers and the co-speakers at this very important meeting. Nigeria, as a country, is moving forward with the adoption of Sustainable Development Goal, which we signed in 2015, September, and took off in 2016. We know that the visitor that came unexpectedly, COVID-19, has bastardized and disrupted the world economy, Nigeria inclusive. And I believe that everybody, all member states are working towards achieving sustainable development using several means of achieving that. So circular economy is one of the most very good tools to get that one done. In a country like Nigeria, moving forward, the circular economy is to help reduce pressure on the environment, knowing fully that environmental degradation is one of our major problems, and how to mitigate it is very, very crucial to us. Example of the flooding that we are witnessing now, the recycling of waste, how we can then maximize the disposable of waste and sorting of waste that can generate more revenue and provide job opportunity for Nigerian people, especially the young people. Because whether you like it or not, we must learn how to create jobs and to be employer of labor. So a circular economy provides opportunity for the young people, especially, and young entrepreneurs to be able to start their businesses and boost economic growth, stimulate innovation, and create sustainable jobs for unemployed youth across different sectors in Nigeria. Also, for an economy to be progressive, we need to make sure that we shift from the waste hierarchy of circularity hierarchy that update our national climate plan. I think that example is how we can then make recycle waste to mold to become blocks, concrete blocks, how we can recycle to make use of other things that we don't need to necessarily import from other countries. So I think few people are working on it, and the government of Nigeria is promoting more people, encouraging more people, providing an enabling environment for more people to be able to get into this economy. It's a very wide economy, and people must key into it. Working together with the Ministry of Trade and Investment, Youth Development, and Job Creation Ministry, we're working towards that to ensure that we leverage that, and of course create an enabling environment, making sure that businesses can be ignited, and that's why within 24 hours you can register your business and then go into that, and of course you can get loan to start these businesses. So we are working simultaneously and to see that we create jobs through this circular economy, more jobs, and to protect our environment from being further degradation and mitigate climate change also by working with the private sector to work together and ensure that this is realizable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. In what ways is your office engaging with the private sector to partner with the government and other stakeholders to achieve our sustainable development goals?
Well, the private sector is the heart of the sustainable development goals. When you recall that during the Millennium Development Goal (MDGs), it was driven by government alone. Private sector was not involved, and the popular opinion then was that because private sector was not involved in the implementation of the MDGs, which is Millennium Development Goals, was one of the reasons why it was not achieved globally. And in the SDG, when the conceptualization of MCG, private sector was in the heart of SDG, working with the public sector to derive what possibilities of expertise, resource mobilization, and of course, coherence of policies of private and public sector where we can work together, develop a uniform policy to accelerate the implementation of SDGs. And the example of that is what we did in 2017. Nigeria became the first member state to set up the private sector advisory group for SDGs. And right now we have long list of private sector that have keyed into this to work with the government of Nigeria to achieve SDGs. We believe that the private sector will ignite and facilitate more of this. When you recall that before now, we know what we call CSR. CSR, either we ask for it or we don't ask for it. People, the companies and organizations believe that they must get back to the community where they are working with. And for example, in my community, when you have 5 companies working in my community, they want to give me water. So if 5 of them are giving me water, at the same time, I think it's not very sustainable. What we should be doing is working together, coordinate the private sector, and sit down with the community, what are your needs? It might be 5 or 6. So working in silos with the private sector has been a thing of the past. We coordinate them together now to ensure that one is providing water, one is giving primary health care center, one is working in school. So we have them in groups, working with different goals of SDGs. So the duplication of activities and working inside those has been a thing of the past. So we are working together, and they are in different sectors working with different goals of SDG, and it's very, very interesting and very sustainable.
Well, thank you very much, Princess Adejoke Orelope-Adefulire, Senior Special Advisor to President Buhari on Sustainable Development Goals. Great pleasure to have you on the Morning Show today.